Welcome back to the N4 Learning channel. So today we're going to look at Reflow. Now we've covered Reflow graphic wise, a quick view, but this one is for installing Reflow onto a new station, and we'll go through it step by step. If you're going to you can download Reflow and you don't need to license it. There's a demo Reflow that you can download, and if you do need to license it, you need to get the host ID and license the station. Now this station is only a 100-point station, even though I'm only using 2 points and I've got quite a few IO. The reason for that is down to the ISMA that I've installed. So if we go to the ISMA, you can see that we're using one digital input or one numeric point for all the inputs and all the UIs if we was using them all as digital, and we're using 1 point output point for all the DOs and AOs if we're using the AOs as digital. So we've only got 2 points, because the rest of the points on the Mac 36 controller are all free, so you don't need it, doesn't count to your point count. So all these points here are all what I call free. Now to see what your station is, if you click on station, right click on station, go views and resources manager, you can scroll down and you can see the global capacity points, and we've got 2 and we've got a limit of 100. So what we have currently is we have all these ISMA points and we have the mix 38 points, but because I'm just using digital inputs on this mix 38 and outputs, it's just these 2 here, digital inputs and digital outputs, that count as these 2 points here. All these points on the Mac 36 are basically free. It doesn't count towards the license. So you can do quite a lot with a Mac 36 100-point controller if you play clever with your IO. Now some people that I've seen will just bring in a digital input for each individual one on the Mac 36 and a digital output for each one, when you don't need to, when you can just use this component that's already in, it's already in the palette. So if you look at the palette for the ISMA IO modules, and we're doing Modbus async, so you've got all your universal inputs here, but in the palette itself that you bring across, I bring this across, you will see you've got these 2 points here. So out of all the inputs, so if you was to use all your universal inputs and then you was to use all your sorry, that was a mix 18 I was showing you there as well. It's actually a mix 38. So these are the 2 points here on the mix 38, and this is the 8 universal inputs. So if you're not using temperature sensors then, and just digital, great. If you are using temperature sensors, then you've got to bring these 8 across, but there's no ifs or buts about it. So the degrees C in this country, so you'd have to bring them across to your palette, to your logic sheet. But if you're just using digital inputs and digital outputs like I am on this job, it only takes 2 proxy points. Let me just show you what I mean about bringing them in. views wire sheet. So that's my mix 38 up here, mix 38. Let's go back and let's drag them across and bring them in. Okay, so them 8 points have now been brought in. Now if we go to station, right click, views, resource manager, it will probably take a while to update itself because it's still saying 2 at the moment. Let's just click on update. There we go, it's now changed to 10. So those were the 8 points that I brought in, but I don't need them 8 points. But what I was saying before is I see people bringing in, sometime in the logic, if they wanted digital, they'll bring them digital in there, and then so they've got the, let's simulate this as what I'm using, so the digital one, so they bring them digital inputs in for there. We're not using any universals on this job, and then they bring the outputs in, so digital outputs, and they bring in the digital outputs that they are using. So they're the digital outputs. Now if you look at the point count now, naturally you're going to have to take 2 off because you would delete these 2, but I'm not going to delete them because I've already wrote this and it's already live. If we go to resource manager, we've got a count there of 30. So you're going to quickly get up to your, especially if you've got some meters and Modbus items, or back via BACnet or MBus, you're certainly going to increase to your 100 count. But the way we've done it, or I've done it, we don't need any of these. It's just this and this 2 points. I mean, of course, my, like I said, my Mac 36 is mirror 3 points. So we wasn't really talking about that. We wanted to talk about Reflow. So we want to install Reflow, be it a demo. Just want to show you how I would install Reflow on this system, and I would need to open up platform as well. I mean, I would have to go to the Reflow website, which is Niagaramods, which I'm going to do in a moment. Let me just put you on pause. So we're on Niagaramods website here. They've got some nice demos that you can look at, and we're interested in Reflow. So if we go to the products, Reflow, and if you scroll down to the bottom of their website, you've got these prices: $399, $899, or if you're using a supervisor, $1,399. Normally, the last job I installed this, it was we'd be paid for the $399 because it was a library, one building, and it had about 20 devices, 30 devices, and we didn't even use the floor plans. The weather's a nice thing to have as well, but it just makes your graphics look a lot nicer than basic PX pages. In fact, I'll just show you that website that we just did with Reflow, the website station. One moment. So this is it. It's just for a TV screen that's going to go in the library, and it's where they can display the information and graphs, and of course the weather. And then there's this page here, which is a service page, which someone can click on with a mobile app or a web browser and extend the extension, set what they want the extension for 2 hours, for example. change the outside heating stop set points. So if the outside air goes above 18 degrees, the system will stop on the VT side, the heating up. Just some basic information there, temperature and temperatures. So they're not going to see that screen, they're going to see on the big monitor this screen where we've got the energy rating and the temperatures and what we've used today in electricity, which made it very easy using Reflow. And that's just the picture of the library at the back. So let's go back to Reflow again. So at the moment we're going to use the free driver. So we've got to sign in here. So let me sign in. So now I've signed in, we can go to the products, Reflow, download, agree to that. That tells you information here, and you can see it's downloading mods.reflow.zip. So if you haven't got an account, just make yourself an account, it doesn't cost anything, and sign in. So now we're going to take that and put that onto our station. So let's close this. So here's our download, Niagaramods Reflow. Extract the files. Yes to all, because I've probably already downloaded it before, which I have here. There's our Reflow. So we're going to install that now. So I'm going to highlight this, copy it, and it's drive C where the modules are, Niagara, and we'll use 4.8 for the moment, and we'll paste them in there. They'll probably already be pasted in and be asking me to override. Yeah. So that's now in our software. So that's now added to the station, to the workbench. But what we've got to do with this workbench now, or what you would have to do, is close it down and restart it. So let's do what you would have to do. So log off, close window, and then restart it again. So now that's restarted, we need to go into the platform of the site, and we need to install the modules onto the station. So software manager, they're all out of date because I've loaded up 4.10, so but don't worry about that, that's nothing to worry about for you. We want Niagaramods. And I can't find it. So I've just changed my screen from 4.10 to 4.8, so I'm using 4.8 workbench now. So again, we wanted Niagaramods, and it's there. N mods reflow RT and mods reflow UX. So I'm going to click on install, and I'm going to click on commit. So that will install. I'm not too sure whether it reboots. I think it does reboot. I only did this 2 days ago on another site, so I should really be able to remember, but I think it may reboot. Unless when you do the license it reboots. That's installed. I think we'd probably be better rebooting anyway. So let's reboot this. Application Director. And we don't need to press reboot, we can just press restart. Restart that station, yes. So it's saving the station. Stopped. Station shut down. And now it's started back up again. I'll pause this until its station's back up. So we've got the out-of-date module added here. And mods Reflow RT. This here, this piece severe that you can see here, this is when we added, when I was showing you about adding those DO1s to DO12s with regard to the address, and that was because it was conflicting with the one object that I had, one address object that I had with all these others. Like I said, if you were doing the DO1s to DO12s individually, which I don't recommend, then you would need to delete that other numeric proxy out for these to work properly. But that's just a stupid way of doing it. I'd rather do it the way I showed you, and then have an input and an output folder, which is what I do. I mean, I just link to that, and if I want to change the description name or anything like that, I change it in the input or output folder. So that looks like it's running. Yep, started on port 4911. Accept. This multi-history, this is what I used on station about 2 days ago from One Site Solutions. But we're not talking about that, so let's forget that. Let's bring up Reflow. So N mods license and mods Reflow. So what we're going to do now is take that and put it straight into services. And then we're going to right click that, views, and Reflow config. Not as secure. Okay, I know why that is. Which is good it's shown us up here on this. We need to go into our web service. And we got HTTP enabled. So what I've got to do is log in, but not securely for this at the moment. So right click, open station, take out the connection there, 1911. Didn't accept the password first time I typed it. Now what we would do is go into services and right click Reflow and views and Reflow config. Really? think I need to reboot this. No, I shouldn't need to. That's everything done. So I reckon, because we're using a fixed IP SIM card in an M2M Pro router for access, I need to go into the Pro router and check some settings. So I'm into the router here, and I want to just check the firewall port forwards. Ha! No 80, no port 80, no HTTP port. Normally you won't get this issue and this problem once you've installed it, but I've got it because I'm using a fixed IP and this port 80 is not being set up. So let me just set that up. So now I've saved and applied, added port 80 and save and apply. Like I said, this would normally not happen if you're working on the station locally, but I'm working on a remote station and port 80 was never set up because this station was designed to go back to the server with all the points, so we didn't need port 80, but that was what the issue was. So let's close that down now and we'll wait for Reflow to load up. Okay, we get the pop-up continuing free trial mode. I don't want to purchase it because I'm not going to use Reflow on this station anyway. And there we have the standard dashboard for Reflow, and then at the bottom free trial mode for demo use only. It's good to have these little problems or challenges because we can sort them out. So now what we want to do is we want to right click Reflow, views, and we're going to go to Reflow config. Wait for that to load. So that's loaded. Continuing workbench. Reflow is better in a browser, which it is, and the wizard will guide you through. Well, I don't normally use the wizard, but let's use the wizard this time. Let's see what we've got. If you don't have one of those checklists, don't worry, you can always add or change them later in the configuration menu. So title, where am I? I'm on Vale Farm, that's everyone active, so I'll put Vale Farm Gym, and we put everyone active there. Next. So we'll use a hero background, browse, so we can pick up an image, but I'm not going to bother at the moment. Next, my primary and secondary colours, I don't know what their colours are, but we'll just leave that as it is. Now where are we? We are London, GB. Oops. Valid, and I want it in metric, and I'll display the navigation widget. Next. Yeah, there's only one building name. We'll just put again Vale Farm. And I'm all set. Continuing free trial mode. So what we'll do is we will add some information on here. So I want to go to my landing page, which this is what this is, a landing page. And we'll just put that as information for now. And we've got the alarms there, and we've got the weather for us. So let's add a card, and we'll add a gauge, and we'll select a point. So I'll look at our inputs. Again, this would probably be a bit faster if you was connected directly to it, but I am using a modem, and we go for boiler flow. So that's our boiler flow currently. Value percent. No, I just want value. I can display limits if I want to, so it's 0 to 100 at the moment, but we're not going to go above 85, and we probably don't. Well, I'll leave it at 0, and let's display limits and see some 0 to 85 there, and let's get an icon. So it's a temperature, so let's just search for temperature, and we'll take that temperature. So we've got a nice icon in there now, and then we want to add another card. So gauge cost card title, so that was boiler flow. We know its temperature, we've got a gauge there saying its temperature, so I don't need to put temperature at the end of that. I'm happy with that. Yes. That looks good to me. So add another card, and we'll go for history chart. Why not? Select history, and I want none of them spares there. We go boiler flow and boiler return. Okay, and then we can do it for the last, say, 24 hours. So what happened? 27th of May, 5:16 AM, and then we drop there at 6:20. Oh no, 27th of May, 6:23, and we're starting to climb. Periodically refresh data. 300 seconds is fine. Display time range. Last 24 hours, so that's displaying that up at the top. And that's good as well. Boilers. Yes, that's fine. We can change that logo as well if we wanted to. So let's go back to settings. We've got our weather, which we've already sorted that out, on our location. Back up. Theme. You can put your own name in there if you wanted to, and you can put your own link if you want to there. And there's your logo, so we can change the logo. So browse. I don't have anything on this station, but I would put something in the images file and have my own, but none of them are going to be any good to me. Oh, I've got Veilform JPEG in there. Let's go back to my theme and hero background, and let's change that. Browse. So in images, I have that. Images smaller than recommended. Now I need to darken this bit at the top here. So or I can go hero background tint color, and I can just use that to change we'll leave that as it is. Title color is fine at white. Navigation bar, let's see if we can make that a little bit darker up there. Naturally no good with that logo, but the logo would be changed anyway. Again, this is just trial and error, just showing you how it works and how quickly you can add data straight to a front page. And you can look at schedulers. Let's look at what schedulers we've got on this station, so automatically pull him in for me. Again, all this is just on the fly as such. I'm doing this video as it is. I haven't done anything beforehand or checked anything. I'm just playing with it as I would normally do. Equipment, so I can add equipment. We'll ever give you some nice equipment here that you can add, or you can add your new equipment yourself. I'm not going to mess with that at the moment. I can add a page, add a reflow page, test page, page layout. So I presume I can add now a card to that page. A gauge again. Select point, inputs, outside air, don't need that. It's a little bit different to what it is. 17.4 actually is, it's 16, but I'm not bothered about that. HWS flow, that's a bit low, should be a bit higher than that. I can display limits again. So let's, I would expect it to be 50 to anything like 70, and that's quite low at 49.9. So I need to find out why that is low on card tankle. HWS, or domestic hot water flow. And again, you can go for an icon. I'll use that one. Add a card. What else can we add? History chart. We don't want to do that. We've done that. HX view. Niagara point list. So let's add a point. Select a point. Inputs. Let's do fire alarm. Duplicate point. Duplicate. Oops. Go back. Let's select a point. Another one. gas valve. Valve. So we've got a gas icon. What we do? Burn. So that's my test page. Fire alarm, gas valve. That's untitled. Let's put status, and let's change fire alarm. Let's use an icon for that. See what we've got for fireplace. No, don't want fireplace. That will do for me. Fire alarm, true, gas valve, open. Can use Niagara if I wanted to. Okay, well, I think that's enough of that. Gives you some sort of idea. Could play around with it. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, can you subscribe for me, please? Thank you.